Hey, this is a video about photography, but you'll need a little bit of patience. I'll be touching on a few different things. However, there will be benefits if you stick with me. Some of these benefits, you could get a clearer idea on what you want out of photography, and that's kind of important because you'll be able to focus your energy better. You might save money, which I think is always good, and who knows what else. You might get some unexpected ideas from all of the food for thought that I'll provide. So let's start. There is a critical question that you've got to ask yourself right now. It's very important, especially if you want to be a professional photographer. This question is, what kind of a photographer do you want to be? And this is within the context of business. Imagine the following scenario. Your photos are good enough, yet your strength is your entire persona, sort of the whole package that you offer. Your social media game is strong, you have a knack for making connections, for selling yourself. Or another scenario. You're the kind of photographer who gets paid because their photos are so undeniably good. Maybe marketing and all that isn't your forte. It might take you some time to get noticed, but your work speaks for yourself and you will eventually be in demand. Which scenario do you fit into? Which one do you want to fit into? There isn't really a right or wrong choice. If, and that's a big if, we're talking about photography as a business, not as an art form, not so much as a craft, but a profession, a business. You can be more of one than the other, and there are many in-betweens, but for the purpose of this video, let's just say that you are more of one than the other. My choice is definitely scenario number 2. I can't not think of photography as an art form, but I've also always kind of approached it as a sport. Sports are much more black and white, in the sense that if you're good, you will get opportunities, you'll win. And despite a level of subjectivity in photography, I think that it ultimately works the same way. If you're undeniably good, you kind of don't need to get into photography thinking about connections and networking and all that sort of stuff. They will all come naturally because of your work. Now, what actually prompted me to make this video is a YouTube comment from a gentleman who follows my work. It was a couple of weeks ago, and it was in response to my video announcing my latest course. He said something along the lines of, I don't need another course on improving as a photographer. I need a course on making it as a pro, and it would be great if you could come up with something like that. In his case, he's been at it for a while, he's put in the work, so it's fair enough that he wants a different kind of course, different kind of information. But I think the reason that his comment caught my attention, that it triggered me to make this video, was that I've heard something along these lines many times before, but from people who haven't even figured out the photography part. Yet they want to know how to make a living from it. When I hear something like that, I'm like, hold your horses a bit, mate, become a photographer first. As far as me creating a course on making it as a pro photographer, I've actually uploaded a few videos about my own professional photographic journey on YouTube, and if you are really interested in those, you can search for the words that are appearing on the screen right now. Now, I shared my journey for educational purposes, but I'm pretty sure that it can't be replicated. I can't provide you with the blueprint and say, hey, do what I did and you'll have a great photography career. So I don't feel like it, to be honest, creating something about making it as a pro, and then much of the information in that course is either out of date or it's sort of second-hand information because I had actually never tried it myself. You see, times are different. So much changes constantly. I started my journey back in 2005. That's a pretty long time ago now. I still somehow caught the very end of the golden era of stock photography, which for some photographers was a huge source of income. I sold my first prints to collectors because my photos were published in a prestigious black and white photography magazine. I had times when I would sell the rights to a single image for thousands of dollars. And for most part, this shit just doesn't happen anymore. Sure, I can suggest you a few things, but you've probably heard all of them before. Do you really need another person telling you to start an Instagram account or a TikTok or a YouTube channel? Through the years, only one thing has remained constant for me, and I'll get to that in just a sec. Firstly, I actually want to know, if you've been in the photography game for a while, what significant changes have you seen in your time? Drop a comment. Anyhow, even though I don't think it's possible to provide a bulletproof plan to be a travel photographer today, some photographers are marketing courses that claim that they will help you do this, and they're charging quite a bit. Selling the dream of waking up at an exciting beach location Usually it's in Bali, and they're doing all of these exciting assignments, photographing beautiful women, you know, really living their dream life. Most importantly, they can teach you. They can provide you with the blueprint so that you can get out of your boring 9 to 5 and do as they do. I don't buy that shit, I'm sorry. There are reasons that I don't really want to get into here. This video is long enough, but there are just too many nuances. Of course, it's totally possible. I don't think those photographers are lying. I think that they are living that life, but I don't think that you need to fork out over $1,000, which is sometimes the price tag, because, and this is purely my opinion, but I think that you will not learn anything that you can't learn for free on YouTube. Or, you know, here's another idea. Contact some seasoned pros, buy them a coffee, and pick their brain. Ask them how they're managing, how they're doing it. I did this, and at least I learned where not to focus my energy and made a friend or two as well. But hey, maybe I am completely out of touch on this. I hope I am. Have any of you taken one of those Dream Life travel photographer courses? I'd just love to be proven wrong on this, so please share your opinions. Look, I am guilty of selling this amazing dream travel life. I am in an amazing location shooting this video. This is the view from above, and below is a beautiful waterfall with nobody around. So these things about travel photography, there is truth to them, but my premise is different. It's totally different. And this brings me to the point of what has not changed in this fluid world of photography. The need for great images. The need for photographers who really know and understand their shit. Not just the technical side, but the visual communication side of things. This is why whatever courses I make, my aim is to help you become the best photographer that you can possibly be, not the best businessman. That's a different game. I share my evolving ideas, the methods that I've developed over almost 20 years of really being out there and experimenting like I'd say very few have. As I mentioned though, today you can learn virtually everything on YouTube for free. Though honestly, without praising myself too much, I can't really say that I've seen anybody teaching things that are similar to my method on YouTube. But I will be sharing a lot of this method for free on YouTube. I already released the first video last week. I'm not sure about the view count on it as I'm filming this right now, but I strongly urge you to go and watch it and then watch the next two that are coming up and really dive into them. You know, don't skim, don't get distracted, reflect on the content, apply the ideas. If you can, apply them immediately. At the very least, start picking out and recognizing the images where you might have applied the ideas subconsciously. This way you'll be training your eye and your mind. If you think what I share in these videos is not important, I honestly think you are wrong. To me, that means that you didn't get them. So watch them again, absorb them. If you're a good learner and you master these ideas for free, then you may never have to buy another photography course, ever. My paid courses are just about guiding you more, providing you with clarity and, you know, ultimately saving you time. And they don't cost $1,000 or more. The latest one is like, what, $70 now while I'm launching it, and that's, what, like 2 nights at a decent Airbnb in most of South America. Anyway, you see that this person's comments have got me pretty animated, and I'm actually quite thankful to him because they really got me thinking. And I even thought, well, hypothetically, what if you skip the whole becoming a truly solid photographer part? What would happen if the fundamentals are not there? If your photos are okay-ish and you've learned to emulate sort of the latest style that's in demand in the market, and then you just market the shit out of yourself. Well, I think that a couple of things might happen. People might see through the crap, or as is sometimes the case, you might have some short-term success. Or if you're a great personality and you start to get into YouTube, then you might eventually completely branch out into that rather than do photography. But remember, things do not stay the same in this industry. So can you pivot if needed? Is your photography, is your understanding of photography developed enough? Or are you the next Peter McKinnon that people will watch your videos because of your personality? I would pretty much bet that without the fundamental part, without understanding how visual communication works, you will most likely eventually just kind of fizzle out. You'll be lost amongst everybody else using the same style or following the same trends. So that's I think it's turned into a rant, but I just think it's so important to self-reflect, to ask yourself, what path do you want to choose in photography? Why do you want to do that? What do you hope to achieve with that? Are you cheating the game along the way? And for me, I think it's important to confirm why I'm here. It's to help you make the best photos of your life, not to help you be the best business person. Sorry. But if you can do the photography thing, that's a huge step. That will be the base for everything else. And call me crazy, but I still think that making more impactful, more inspiring photographs is a competitive advantage. Get the marketing sorted when you figure this out, and I reckon the sky's the limit. Anyway, please do yourself a favor. I know that statistically very few of you will do this, which is probably one of the reasons why so many of us just stagnate and don't really get anywhere. But watch my last video and the next two coming up. Or if you're not watching them, then I hope that you're out there photographing. I hope you'll tune in a couple of days.